everybody and welcome to workout 2. Today again you'll need no equipment, just a mat to lay on, maybe a head support or pillow if you wish. And yeah, let's get started. So laying down on the mat with me, head resting on the pillow. We're just going to start with some tilts and bridges. So just a little tilt back, tilt forward, 3 times together. Just warming up or stretching your lumbar spine slightly. After we've done 3 tilts, we're going to do 3 bridges. So again, feet grounded, squeeze and lift through the hips and then roll back down to the floor. Again, just 3, rock back through the pelvis, squeeze, lift the hips, roll back down into the floor. And 1 more bridge, squeeze, lift the hips and roll back down into the floor. Taking our arms out to T, we're just going to do a side to side rock again, just 3 each way. We're just warming up our hips. A few clicks and clunks if your back's like mine. Again, just 3 each way. Just feeling it stretch. Wider feet for the bigger stretch. Narrow feet for less stretch. Then come back into grounded again, just tilting and bridging for me. Tick back and forward through the pelvis 3 times. Focusing on feeling that pressure change against the ground as you're rocking and rolling. And bridging again. This time as we squeeze and bridge up, I want you to reach your arms back over your head. And then as you roll back down, bring your arms back to the floor. And again, just 3, squeeze and lift, reach your arms over your head and roll back down into the floor, bringing your arms back down to your side. And 1 more, squeeze and lift, reach your arms back over your head and roll back down into the floor, arms back down by your side. Starting with tabletop position. Again, I'll show some slightly easier versions of things, but we're working a little bit hard today, so legs both starting up in the air. As you hold your tabletop position, be conscious of drawing in through your tummy. And again, let's think about that butterfly in our cave under our lumbar spine. So trying not to press hard into the floor or trying not to arch up off the ground and let the butterfly escape. So from tabletop, the first thing we're going to do is our backward swimming. So that's 1 leg and the opposite arm, just gently stretching away and then coming back in. The hardest version of this is to go nice and low but keep the foot off the ground. Slightly easier version is just to go up through the arm and leg at a higher position. Or to make it a little bit easier again, just grounding your feet and taking it back to opposite arm and legs. So if we go back to tabletop for those of us working harder and just reach the opposite arm and leg out. Keep going for me as I'm talking, of course. Once you know what you're doing, just keep alternating slowly from side to side. I'm going to do about 10 of these or 5 on each side. Thinking about pulling in with that low tummy. Keeping on going slowly. So again, opposite arm and leg. It's called backward swimming. Can make it easier by going higher. Last one on each side. And rest. Well done. Keeping the legs in tabletop, let's rock from side to side now. So 5 each way with our knees in the air. Again, ground the feet if this is too difficult. And do 5 each way. But if we're okay keeping these legs in the air, 5 each way, holding the tabletop position. 2 more each way. Then again, stopping to the center, bringing the arms back to the side, flex the feet. And we're going to start with our tapping. So alternating, 1 goes up, 1 goes down. This is the harder version of this exercise. If you want to make it a little bit easier, you can just tap 1 at a time. Keep tapping, those of you doing the harder version. 1 at a time is a little bit easier. And again, if that's still a bit difficult, rest 1 foot and do 1 at a time, but have the other foot grounded. Keeping on tapping alternately for those of us working harder. 1 goes up, 1 comes down. Think about drawing in the tummy. Think about the butterfly in the cave of the lumbar spine. 2 more on each side, everyone. Want to do about 5 each leg. And then return back to tabletop. What we're going to do next with our tabletop legs is take our arms back to T. And this time I want you to stretch both your legs out for me. Now, lower is harder, as high as you're comfortable to. Keeping them nice and straight, pointing your toes. Widen the legs, flex, and then pull them back together. This is called a V open, and then pull them back together. We want to do 5 of these. Point to open, flex to close, point to open, flex to close. If that's a bit difficult, you can just V the legs open and close, keeping the knees bent for me. But if you're happy to extend, point to open, flex to close. Come back to tabletop, and we're going to tap again. So alternate taps for those of us working harder. 5 on each side, or just a single tap for 5 on each side if you want to make it a little bit easier. And again, we're going to repeat the V's. By now you should be feeling a nice burn through those lower tummy muscles, and remember the butterfly in the cave. And then again, V'ing, so point to open, flex to close, keeping the knees bent if you want to work that little bit easier, but stretching them up if we want to work harder. Point to open, flex to close, 2 more, point to open, flex to close, point to open, flex to close, and come back to tabletop and ground to the floor. Have a little stretch each way, just our side to side rocking, one each way just as a little rest. Well done. And then stretching both our legs out nice and straight and our arms back over our head. So we're going to do a full body roll up. So for a lot of us this will be easy, for some I know it will be more challenging. So we're going to try bringing our arms forward, chin towards our chest, coming all the way up and reaching for our toes. Slowly rolling all the way back down again and moving our arms back over our head. So for those that can do it that way, keep going for me slowly, coming all the way up and reaching for your toes. We're going to do 5 of these. If you can't pull yourself all the way up, what I want you to do is actually use your arms. So keep going slowly, those who can. Just use your arms to sit yourself up. And for those that find that too difficult, reach for the toes in sitting, and then just do a little lean back and forwards for me. So if the rolling all the way down and up is a little bit too challenging, lean back and forwards. If you can manage to go all the way down and up, you can. So we're doing at least 5. Keep going while I'm talking. We'll do 1 more together, all the way up and down, or just slowly back what's comfortable, and then forward to your toes again. Well done. Now staying sitting up, I want us to bend our legs, grounding our feet to the floor, keeping our arms out in front of the body. And I want us to do that little sit back again, but this time with our legs bent. Holding this position, arms reaching out in front, relax the shoulders, feel a little bit of work in those tummy muscles. And I want us just to raise one arm up and then bring it back down towards the knee. Slowly alternating from side to side. Now for some of you, this is where you're going to stay. This will be hard enough. If this feels a little bit easy, go with me now, both arms up, both arms down, which is a slightly harder motion. We're going to do 10 of these. Alternating, we do 5 on each side, but if you're in the double arm lifts with me, we're doing a total of 10. So both arms up and down, or one arm at a time, lifting up and coming down, lifting up and coming down. You should feel a bit of work through these quads, feel the work through your tummy muscles. A few more together, I've lost count. 3 more. And last one. Well done. Sit up again, stretch the legs out. We're going to go back into the full roll up and down. So for those comfortable too, doing 5 for me, rolling all the way down, moving the arms all the way back over the head, rolling all the way up again and reaching for the toes. For those that don't find the full roll up comfortable, just a little lean back and then stretch to your toes again 5 times. So half roll back if the full roll back is too hard, 5 times, or a full roll back and all the way down, and then a full roll up. A couple more times depending on which one you're doing, and a full roll up. Well done. This time staying in our full roll up, what I want us to do is widen our legs out. Yep. Take our arms back out, so we're about as wide as the mat with the feet, arms reaching out in front, and I want us to lean towards our opposite toe. Doesn't matter if you don't touch, touching down to the shin is fine as well. We're just reaching towards that opposite toe, and then back to sitting and reaching towards the opposite toe. Now this does still work our tummy muscles. It also engages our obliques. We should feel a big stretch coming up through maybe the backs of our legs and definitely down through this side. Just slowly alternating for me. It's called a saw stretch because the idea is that you're trying to saw off your little toe as you reach down and come back up. 1 more each way, reaching towards that opposite foot and then coming back up, reaching towards the opposite foot, coming back up, and then bringing our legs back together because we're going to lay all the way back down again. So slowly coming down, arms stretching overhead, reach with the fingers and the toes for a little stretch, and then relax. Now we're going to go into our side lying work. So rolling onto your mat on your side, again, whatever's comfortable from an upper body point of view. You can have your hand resting under your head, you can have your arms stretched right out. Just don't prop up too high. And of course, we want to be thinking about our hip position, so hip on top of hip as we do these exercises. So clams to start, nice easy clam, we all know what a clam is, opening as high as you're comfortable to, but maintaining this hip stacked upon hip position. It's no good if we roll back as we do them. So we're going to do about 10 of these together, keeping our ankles together, turning just up through the top knee, couple more, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to keep the clam position. This time what I want us to do is open our clam and hold, and we're going to do a little extension of our leg. So the idea is to try and keep the clam shape as it is, but kick from our toe. So we're just going to do 10 kicks, holding our clam, bringing the ankle back down to touch, or the foot back down to touch the other foot, keeping that knee turned up as high as we can as we stretch our leg in and out. So 10 kicks, 4 to go, 4, 3, 2, 1, touch the ankle down, return the knee, and return to clam again. So just gently going up and down with the knee. So 10 times. Keeping that hip on top of hip, conscious of this position down through the side, not rolling back, and then rest. Top leg out to straight, having a point in the toe for me, and we're going to just do a circle around with the leg as well. So nice straight leg. This hand can touch the ground to give you a little bit more balance or support. Again, keep your hip on top of your hip. We want to circle 10 times in the backwards direction and then 10 times in the forwards direction. Again, going nice and slow. Slower is harder. Keep your leg really straight. Think about that hip on top of hip position. A few more circles going back, and then we'll bring them forward. And stopping to pause and return the circle in the other direction. Keeping our toe pointed and our leg nice and straight. Hip on top of hip. Going nice and slow together. 4 to go. Well done. Now, if we grab our foot and just have our stretch again, so just pulling our foot back to give us a stretch through the front of the leg. Hold it there for me for 10 seconds. And then we're going to do one more stretch on our side today as well. For some of you, this will be a new stretch. For others, you'll recognize it. So what I want us to do is bend both of our knees, take our pillow or our head support back, rest our head down, hand under head as well if you like. Top hand at the side of the head too. And what I want us to do is roll our chest open into stretch. Now as I roll open, I'm keeping my knees down, and I'm trying to feel for a stretch through my sort of chest, pec and shoulder, top of my shoulder area. So just gently stretch open, take a breath, and then return back down to close. And we're just going to do 3 of these before we change sides. Big breath, and then return to close. And one more, rolling our chest open, keeping our knees down, and return to close. Good job. Now we're going to change over sides, starting with our clams, and then our clam with the kicking extension. So get yourself comfortable from an upper body point of view, bending at both knees, hip on top of hip, and begin to clam when you're ready. So we're going to do 10 clams, and then hold our clam open to do 10 kicks. So we count out these clams together, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, keeping the clam open now and kicking, holding the hip on top of the hip, feeling that little bit of a burn through the back of the leg. Keeping on kicking, so 10 kicks open with the clam. Then ankle stays grounded, go back to the clam through the knee. Really focus on that hip staying on top of the other hip, not rolling ourselves backwards as we go. So just 10 clams again. Couple more. Then stretching our leg right out to straight, pointing the toe, and we're going to go backward circles 10 times. So nice straight leg, up, around and back. Imagine there's like a dinner plate at the end of your foot and you're running your toes around the outside of the dinner plate. So the circle's at the bottom of our leg. It's not out in front, it's not behind, it's straight out the bottom. So just the 10 circles or around that many going back. And then we need to change direction. So forward circles, keep your leg nice and straight, point your toe. Feel that nice feeling of effort through the hips and the thighs. And after we've done our 10 forward circles, we're going into stretches. couple more together. 3, 2, 1. And then grabbing that foot just to hold and have a stretch back through the quad. Breathing gently, holding for about 10 seconds. And then our new stretch for our upper back. So if we bend both of our knees, keeping our hand under our head or making sure we have our pillow, spreading the top hand across the side of the head and rolling open through our chest. Remember, once we've opened up into stretch, take a breath and then return. Feeling the stretch pull across the top of the chest area and the upper back, taking a breath and return. So just 3 stretches. Taking a breath and return. Well done. Now the last part of our program, we're going into some prone work again. Today, to start our prone work, we're actually going to lay on our stomach. And again, if for you this isn't a very comfortable position, just pause or skip through this part of the video. So on our tummy, forehead can rest against the towel, reaching both arms and both legs away for me. What we're going to do is a lift of both our arms and legs at the same time. So what that looks like is from a rested position, we're going to take the arms and the feet up, but I also want you to do a little left lift through this head and thoracic or upper back area. So we're going to reach out and lift, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then come back down. Making sure we're only going as high as we're comfortable to. There shouldn't be any discomfort in your lower back as you do this. So again, let's come up. So both arms, both legs, and the head and chest. Reaching away through the hands and the legs, squeezing the glutes. 3, 2, 1, and coming back down. 3 to go. Lifting up, reaching the arms, stretching the legs. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then coming back down. 2 more. Reaching away through the arms, away through the legs, pointing the toes. Feel the work through the glutes. Reach out through the shoulders and back down. Well done. 1 to go. Reaching, lifting the back, lifting the head, reaching the arms and legs. 3, 2, 1. Good job. And then gently coming back down. Well done. Stay on your tummy. Bring your arms into your side. I just want us to do a mini cobra. So we're just going to sit ourselves up into basically a sphinx pose. So we're just lifting through our shoulders, open and relax out through the shoulders. Again, don't go too high. Shouldn't be any pressure in your lower back as we're doing this. So just staying here for me. I'll just slide on my mat a little bit. Staying here for me in this position with our elbows propping us up. Just thinking about opening up the chest and shoulders. Taking a few deep breaths as we hold this little mini cobra position together for about 10 seconds. Then I'm making it a tiny bit harder because we're going to turn this little mini cobra into a plank. So when we're ready to, bring your feet back so you've flexed your toes. So you notice I went from resting my toes to flexing my toes. And what I want you to do is, staying on with that elbow position, is lift your weight up off the bed or off the floor. Now as you've lifted, you should have engaged your stomach muscles, looking down at the floor. We're just holding for a count of 10 seconds. If this is a little bit difficult for you, it's okay to put your knees down and hold a grounded knee position. But if you're happy to be up on your toes, it is harder. Come back down slowly, let your weight rest, and take just that little half cobra position for 10 seconds, and then we're going to do 1 more plank. Nice deep breaths, opening up through the shoulders, looking straight ahead, and after the 10 seconds, either piking and lifting up from a straight body position off the toes, or as I said, you can stay on your knees and just lift a half plank. If you're happy to, you can take those weight off the knees and go right up into full plank. Looking straight ahead, straight down, counting to 10. Hold it there, sucking those core muscles, take deep breaths to make it easier. Whew. Well done. Ground those knees, take the pressure into the hands and the knees for me, and we're just going to finish with a little cat-cow and shoulder stretch together. So as a pure stretch, we're just going to look at the floor, arch our back towards the sky, take a deep breath, and then tuck our back the other way so we're curving our spine and lifting our head up. And again, tuck the tail, arch the back up towards the sky, looking down at the floor. And the other way, poking the bottom out, lifting the head up. And 1 more, just stretching the back, tuck the head, push the back into the sky. And release, arching the back and looking up for me. Gently bring your knees in a bit closer so we can sort of either sit down on our heels or up on our knees.
and have a little backward shoulder roll. And you're done. A few moves in there that some of you may not have done with me before. Again, go to the easier versions of them, or just pause, and when we get into again what you're able to do, just pick back up into the program. Hope you're all really well. Any feedback on particular exercises or things you want me to make videos for, please leave a comment, and I will be posting another video for you again soon. Thanks guys, bye.